All right, we are back. Okay, so let's read this page. It says, more Spanish explorers in Texas. 2 years before Coronado set out looking for the golden cities of Cibola, an expedition left Spain with 10 ships and about 600 men. It was led by Hernando de Soto. Like Coronado, he heard the stories told by Cabeza de Vaca and wanted to conquer cities filled with gold. Both de Soto and Coronado traveled with Franciscan missionaries. The missionaries gave spiritual help on the expeditions. They also tried to teach their Christian religion to the American Indians. That might have been a change. De Soto never reached what is today Texas. He led his expedition through present-day Florida all the way to the Mississippi River where he died. It was Luis de Moscoso who led the group through what is today eastern Texas. They did not find the riches they were looking for, but Moscoso saw oil shimmering on the water near the coast. Juan de Oñate led an expedition into present-day New Mexico in 1598. His mission was to conquer the people, claim the land for Spain, found a colony, and look for gold. To get there, he crossed the Rio Grande at a place he called El Paso del Norte, the pass to the north. Today, this site is named El Paso. La Salle comes to Texas. While Spain was exploring to the south, France sent explorers north to what is today Canada. At first, the French were looking for furs to buy and sell. Soon, they had the desire to expand. They were looking for new lands to claim and settle too. Right? So that was a reason to explore right there. In 1682, fur trader René Robert Cavelier Sieur de La Salle explored the Mississippi River all the way down to the Gulf Coast. He claimed the huge river valley for France and named it Louisiana. The name honored the King of France, Louis XIV. To protect the claim, La Salle wanted to start a French colony at the mouth of the Mississippi River. A colony is a settlement of people who have moved to another country but are still ruled by their home country. La Salle went back to France for men and supplies. Then, in 1684, he and his crew set sail for Mississippi. La Salle's ships missed the site by 500 miles. They landed on the shore of Matagorda Bay on the Texas coast, land claimed by Spain. All right, so they were trying to land in Louisiana, but they accidentally landed in Texas, which Spain already had claimed that land. So that probably made Spain a little angry. Let's see. La Salle's men built a fort on a marsh. Settlers there did not fare well. Many died, some from disease and others from attacks by American Indians. La Salle, meanwhile, continued to explore the area. He was eventually killed by one of his own men. By the time Spanish soldiers arrived, the fort was empty and in ruins. The message to Spanish officials, however, left a strong impact. The French were interested in competing with Spain by setting a colony near Spanish territory. Spain's claim had to be defended or they would be lost. All right, so we have found out some reasons that some of these explorers have come to Texas to explore, and so you should have a couple things written already in your journal for reasons. The changes that are occurring are they're setting up forts and colonies. Okay, so they're setting up some colonies and trying to take over the land, which is going to affect our Native Americans. All right, so we haven't gotten to too much of the changes that are occurring, but we will get there. So we're going to keep adding to this chart as we read this week. I'm going to have you go ahead and upload a picture of this chart that you have filled in some things up here especially, so I can see that you are following along and listening as I'm reading, because I pointed out some really good things for you to write down.